Hi vacation lovers, and welcome back to our Iceland series. This is the final episode of our 10-day Iceland road trip. If you're new here, I've already shared 3 videos from this journey, so be sure to check them out to see our full itinerary and all the incredible places we explored during the first part of the trip. In the last episode, we wrapped things up in Adar, and today we're picking up right from there, continuing our ring road adventure from day 6. From wildlife and waterfalls to dramatic canyons and some unforgettable moments, this part of the journey has it all. So get comfortable, enjoy the views with us, and let's continue exploring Iceland together. We started the morning with a drive toward Borgarfjörður Eystrý, one of Iceland's best places to see puffins. It was about a 1-hour drive from our apartment in Adar. The Hafnarholmi puffin viewing platform is really well designed, allowing you to get surprisingly close to the birds without disturbing them. Unfortunately, when we arrived, most of the puffins had already flown out to sea to fish, so only a few were still perched on the cliffs, which was a bit disappointing. Still, we were lucky to spot a baby puffin sitting quietly on the cliff. And even with fewer puffins around, the surroundings were beautiful. Calm views, the nearby village, and the peaceful atmosphere made it a lovely stop. Next, we drove to Hengifoss, Iceland's second highest waterfall. The drive from Borgarfjörður Eystrý took about 1.5 hours, passing through scenic mountain roads along the way. From the parking lot, the hike takes about 1.5 to 2 hours round trip, depending on your pace. The trail is uphill but very manageable. Just take your time. Along the trail, you'll pass Litlandsfoss, a beautiful waterfall surrounded by tall, perfectly shaped basalt columns. The formations are so precise they almost look man-made. The views along the hiking trail are so beautiful at every turn that you'll likely find yourself slowing down, and your planned hiking time may quietly stretch a bit longer. As you continue climbing, Hengifoss slowly comes into view. At 128 meters, it's the second highest waterfall in Iceland, cascading down a dramatic cliff face. The waterfall is especially known for the distinct red and black horizontal rock layers behind it, formed by ancient volcanic eruptions and compacted lava flows over thousands of years. For the way back, we took the trail on the other side so we could enjoy a different view of the surroundings. Icelandic sheep wool is very famous, and you'll spot these sheep quite often across the countryside. Our next stop was Stuðlagill Canyon, known for its tall basalt walls and a river that changes color throughout the year. In summer, the water is often a bright blue-green, but depending on glacial activity and weather, it can turn gray or brown. When we visited, it was cloudy and rainy, so the river looked mostly gray. Although Stuðlagill Canyon features one of the country's largest and most striking basalt formations, especially vivid when Jökla's glacial waters run clear, it was only discovered in 2009, after a hydroelectric project lowered the Dal River and exposed its walls. No matter the color, the canyon is still incredibly impressive, with towering basalt columns lining the river. Stuðlagill looks amazing from the ground, but seeing it from above really shows the scale. The long basalt walls stretching through the valley and the way the canyon cuts perfectly through the landscape. There are 2 sides to visit, the west side and the east side. We came from the west side, where you hike down a bit to reach an easy viewpoint from above. The east side requires a short hike, but gives closer access to the river and the basalt columns. Both are great, but if you have time, the east side is better for close-up photos. From Sturlugil, we drove about 1.5 hours to reach Dettifoss, Europe's most powerful waterfall. We arrived around 11 at night, but thanks to Iceland's summer light, it was still bright enough to explore. From the parking lot, you walk across lava fields to reach the waterfall. Even though we hadn't completed a proper sleep cycle for days and had been exploring from morning until midnight, we didn't feel tired at all. The power of Dettifoss is massive. You can feel the vibration of the water even from a distance. Standing there so late at night felt unreal. Just a short walk away is Selfoss, which you can easily visit from the same parking area. Selfoss is wider and calmer, with many smaller cascades forming a beautiful horseshoe shape. After exploring both waterfalls, we continued with a 2-hour drive to Akureyri, our stop for the night. Even though it was late, the sky was still glowing with that soft Icelandic summer light, making the drive feel calm and peaceful. We reached Akureyri in the middle of the night. Here you'll find good options for hotels and apartments. After a long day 6 and a late arrival, day 7 started slower. But we were excited because this was finally our whale watching day. After breakfast, we headed toward the harbor for our tour, just a short 5 to 10 minute drive away. Akureyri is one of the best places in Iceland to spot humpback whales. We didn't book in advance to keep our trip flexible, but you can book ahead in high season to avoid waiting. We bought our tickets on arrival and didn't have to wait long. After about 20 minutes, it was time for the boat trip. It was very cold, so we layered up well. The boat headed out into the fjord, surrounded by soft mountains and that quiet northern Iceland atmosphere. The wind was strong and freezing, but we stayed outside for better views. It didn't take long before the guide spotted movement, and then we saw it too. Humpback whales surfacing right in front of us. We spotted several whales, and according to the guide, around 20 whales were moving in the area. They were slow, graceful, and absolutely amazing to watch. They surfaced many times, diving and showing their tails, giving everyone plenty of time to enjoy the moment. After the tour, we made a quick stop at a supermarket in Akureyri to pick up essentials for our next meal. In Iceland, most supermarkets are found in cities, and in the remote areas we were traveling through, it's very hard to find shops or restaurants, so planning ahead is important. According to our original plan, our next stop was Goðafoss, one of Iceland's most iconic waterfalls. But after visiting the secret lagoon earlier in the trip, we fell in love with geothermal baths. So instead, we decided to drive back to the Mývatn nature baths for a relaxing soak and skipped Goðafoss this time. Surrounded by volcanic landscapes, steaming vents, and mineral-rich water, Mývatn was the perfect place to relax and recharge. After so many intense days, this turned out to be the most relaxing part of our journey. Since it was August and the midnight sun was still lighting our way, we had to head on to our next destination, the Snæfellsnes Peninsula, about a 5.5-hour drive away. Before leaving town, we still needed dinner, and the only option we found was a small shopping mall. We made it just in time to grab food from a restaurant right before it closed. That meal gave us the energy boost we needed for the long drive ahead. And this drive was one of the most scenic drives throughout our entire Iceland trip. We reached our accommodation late at night, tired but happy. This time, we stayed here for 2 nights, using it as our base to explore Snæfellsnes. And that wrapped up day 7. After a peaceful night's sleep, day 8 began with a beautiful view around our cozy cottage, quiet open landscapes, even a glacier visible on top of a distant mountain. After a late breakfast, we hit the road again, ready to explore the west and the highlights of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. Snæfellsnes is often called Mini Iceland because in this one region, you can find almost everything the country is famous for. Volcanoes, lava fields, waterfalls, glaciers, mountains, beaches, and dramatic coastlines. So we headed toward the Helgafell mountain region, surrounded by lava fields, small waterfalls, and wide open scenery. The views along the way were absolutely beautiful. This road trip itself was an experience to enjoy. Our first stop on day 8 was a massive lava field in Helgafellsvik, where you can clearly see how hot volcanic lava once flowed and slowly cooled, shaping the land we see today. This is also where you'll find Iceland's famous sword bridge, the Kolgrafafjörður Bridge, known for its sharp, pointed wave-breaker design that looks like a giant Viking sword cutting through the water, symbolizing the region's deep Viking heritage. And right now, we're actually driving over this iconic sword bridge. We then continued to Selvavatn, a peaceful lake surrounded by ancient lava. This 4,000-year-old lava field is simply breathtaking. Black volcanic rock mixed with deep blue water creates such a dramatic and picturesque view. The whole area felt calm, raw, and untouched, a perfect introduction to this remarkable region. Right near Selvavatn, we found Selvalafoss, a small, peaceful waterfall gently flowing through the volcanic landscape. It's not big or crowded, and that quiet simplicity is what makes it special. Later, we drove to the nearby town of Grundarfjörður for lunch. We managed to find a nice place for a late lunch. Food in Iceland is generally expensive, and you'll often see fish and chips or burgers on the menu, and this place was no exception. Still, we enjoyed our meal at a cozy restaurant with a lovely view. After lunch, we took some time to stroll around the town and soak in the peaceful surroundings. Grundarfjörður sits between the sea and a mountain range, and if you have time, it's easy to spend hours just enjoying the scenery here. From there, we headed to one of Iceland's most iconic photo spots, Kirkjufellsfoss. With the perfectly shaped Kirkjufell mountain rising behind the waterfall, it's easy to see why this place is photographed so often. Many of you may also recognize it from popular movies and TV series. Even with changing light and clouds, it looks stunning from every angle. Next, we stopped at Saxhol Crater, a volcanic crater you can actually climb. A staircase leads all the way to the rim, and from the top, you get wide views over lava fields, the ocean, and the surrounding countryside, a clear reminder of Iceland's powerful volcanic past. Day 9 in Iceland was all about adventure and contrast. We packed up and hit the road again, heading towards Snæfellsnes National Park. And our first stop was Rauðfellsgjá Gorge. Rauðfellsgjá Gorge, also known as the Red Cloak Rift, is a beautiful mossy canyon on Vatnsfjall Mountain in the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. It's a natural formation that attracts many visitors, especially during summer. The walk outside the canyon is quite easy, but once you step inside, it becomes narrower and more adventurous. This narrow, rocky canyon is a bit challenging in places, but that's exactly what makes it fun. It feels like one of those hidden spots you'd easily miss if you didn't know where to look. After that, we headed for a guided underground lava cave tour at Vatnshellir Lava Cave. We bought our tickets on arrival, but our tour slot was about 5 hours later, so we used the time for a quick lunch at a small restaurant we spotted nearby. There was a long queue, so once again, we went with the easy option, fish and chips. After eating, we took some time to soak in the volcanic landscape before heading down into the lava tunnel. From the outside, you can see old lava flows stretching across the land, once rivers of fire, now frozen black rock shaped by time and weather. It's truly an incredible sight. Soon after, we returned to the cave, At the reception, we picked up our gear and followed the guide underground. Vatnshellir lava cave is around 8,000 years old, about 200 meters long and 35 meters deep. Once inside, it's completely dark, so every visitor is given a torchlight. Walking through the cave felt surreal. Ancient lava walls all around, cool air, and total silence. It's hard to believe this was once flowing fire. You really feel the power of Iceland's volcanic history down here, and it's such a different experience from everything above ground. Absolutely worth adding to your Snæfellsnes itinerary. To end the day, we headed to Arnarstapi. Arnarstapi is a small, charming fishing village on the southern side of the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. Sitting right below Snæfellsjökull Glacier, the village is surrounded by dramatic cliffs shaped over time by volcanic eruptions and powerful ocean waves. The coastline here is incredible. Tall basalt cliffs, natural rock arches, sea caves, and waves crashing below, with seabirds flying all around. The place felt calm and relaxing, and we spent some time enjoying a slightly adventurous walk along the cliffs, taking in the beautiful scenery and rugged surroundings. Walking along the coastal path feels peaceful and raw at the same time, and it's easily one of the most memorable stops on the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. It was the perfect spot to slow down, breathe it all in, and unwind before heading back to Reykjavík. And with that, our day 9 came to an end. From here, we drove back toward Reykjavík, a journey of about 2.5 hours, and reached our apartment around midnight. It was our final day in Iceland, and we spent it exploring the capital city, Reykjavík, before heading to the airport in the evening. Reykjavík is the northernmost capital city in the world. The weather was cold, rainy, and windy, very Icelandic, but we dressed warmly and stepped out anyway. We started at Hallgrímskirkja, Reykjavík's most iconic church and the tallest building in Iceland. Its dramatic design is inspired by Iceland's basalt lava columns, giving it a strong, almost volcanic appearance. Inside, the church feels calm and spacious, with high ceilings, clean lines, and a quiet atmosphere. The massive pipe organ immediately catches your eye, making it a peaceful place to slow down for a moment. On clear days, you can take an elevator to the top for panoramic views over the city and the ocean. From the church, we walk down to Rainbow Street, one of the most colorful and lively places in Reykjavík. This pedestrian-only street is painted in bold rainbow colors to represent LGBTQ+ pride, inclusivity, and creativity. The view of Rainbow Street with Hallgrímskirkja rising at the end is one of Reykjavík's most iconic scenes. With cafes, souvenir shops, and art all around, it's a joyful place to explore, even in the rain. As we walked along, we noticed how these rainbow colors appear in different corners of the city, on buildings, windows, street art, and even small details, making Reykjavík feel open, expressive, and full of personality. After that, we headed to the waterfront to see the Sun Voyager sculpture. This striking steel artwork resembles a Viking ship and symbolizes adventure, hope, and discovery. With the waves crashing behind it and the gray sky above, it felt especially dramatic. We spent the rest of our time gently wandering through the city, stepping into little shops, passing cozy cafes, and soaking in Reykjavík's beautiful blend of modern style and Nordic charm. It felt like a calm and meaningful way to end our journey before heading to the airport. Even at the airport, surrounded by beautiful art and design, we could still spot touches of rainbow colors in different corners, a lovely reminder of the city's open and inclusive spirit. And with that, our 10-day Iceland road trip came to an end. From glaciers and volcanoes to waterfalls, black sand beaches, lava fields, and even a deserted plane wreck, Iceland surprised us in the best possible way, every single day. Thank you so much for being part of this adventure with us. If you enjoyed traveling Iceland with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Vacation Lovers family for more journeys ahead. Until the next trip, stay curious, keep exploring, and never stop being a vacation lover.